All right, hi Cancers. Welcome to this week's reading. I hope you guys are doing well. The deck that I'm using this week is called the Bianco Nero Tarot. And I think it's an excellent deck to be using this week, just because the black and white motif really, I feel, is good to get into the Halloween spirit. Oh. I'm going to go ahead and take these 4 cards. Alright, so Cancers, I'm getting a really positive reading for you guys. For your overall energy, you have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess always talks about high intuitive power. I feel like you guys, especially this week, are feeling very intuitive. So definitely what I would suggest right off the bat is follow your instincts, follow your intuition. Whatever your gut tells you is probably what you should be doing right now. Especially since you have such high intuition right now. Definitely take full advantage of that, try to hone in on that, really. You guys are a water sign, so intuition comes easier for you guys than most. But in the actual reading, I'm seeing a lot of good stuff. Seeing a lot of good energy. First of all, I see the Sun card, and the Sun card is the happiest card in the tarot. I feel like you guys are really moving out from a bad situation. It's really interesting to me because this Sun card is, you can almost see like there's a sad face on the people and they're looking away, and the Sun is like almost a little bit scary looking. So I'm feeling like, because I'm getting this vibe from the card, you guys might be experiencing a victory, a bittersweet victory, but a victory nonetheless. So I'm definitely getting like, if you have like won something or in a situation where it's gotten better, but it wasn't exactly what you wanted, I just would recommend looking at the positives and really just keeping a stiff upper lip right now, because I'm seeing, especially with like the Wheel of Fortune, that you guys are in an upswing right now. Whenever I get the Wheel of Fortune in the upright, I always feel like you're coming from a down into the high. So wherever you were in your life where you may have felt unlucky or misfortuned, now is the time that you're sort of going to see the positivity come back into your life. And it's really interesting to me that I see the Hierophant and the High Priestess. So the Hierophant and the High Priestess are actually counterparts to each other. So since you're in the High Priestess energy, it might be that you have your eye on a particular person, and that person is sort of in the Hierophant energy. And whenever these two cards come up in unison, I always feel like there could be not necessarily mind games, but like communication. Like, you know what the other person is thinking and you know what the other person is doing, but there's not always the act of follow through. And I feel like that might be frustrating for some of you Cancers this week. Like, definitely more than one of you is in the situation where you know they like you the way that you like them, but for some reason the relationship isn't taking off. And I think it's because there's something here that's sort of keeping that from coming in. Because I see the Two of Pentacles, which usually talks about juggling situations. Sometimes it can mean juggling partners, but I don't get that impression right now. I feel like it's some situation that's getting in the way that doesn't quite let this situation get off the feet. Or, sorry, let the situation's feet like take off from the ground, especially with this Hermit card. I feel like you in particular might be in a situation where you're maybe juggling your finances, or I'm getting with this Queen of Wands and Eight of Swords and this Five of Wands that you might feel like you're not necessarily a good match for this person, because on this bottom row I see the Emperor next to the Hierophant. So it could be that you're dealing with an Aries or a Taurus. I should also mention that the Hierophant is the card of Taurus, and then the Hermit is the card of Virgo. So I feel like for a lot of you, you might be dealing with a Taurus or an Aries, and you feel like you're not necessarily a good match for them energetically, because Aries tend to be a lot more sort of fiery and passionate, whereas Cancers can be a little bit more sort of not necessarily as extroverted or sort of big and bombastic as Aries have like a tendency of being. And I'm getting that because I see the Queen of Wands above the Emperor. But I feel like if that's a concern of yours, it shouldn't be a concern, because the way this person is seeing you, I feel, is exactly how I feel like they're seeing you in a way that is very appealing to them and very attractive to them, but there's something in their way that isn't quite allowing the relationship to start. I'm getting like some kind of an issue, sort of, maybe they're already in a relationship, or maybe they're trying to get out of a relationship, or maybe they're trying to do something in relation to their stability, because I see the Eight of Cups, and the Eight of Cups to me talks about walking away from a certain situation. And with the Death card, it's symbolic of them sort of ending the situation that they're in. And with the Seven of Pentacles, they're working on something and they're trying to wait to see for the fruits to come in. So definitely they're trying to end something or walk away from something so that they can come to you, I feel. And here you might be sort of in an energy where you're overthinking things. With the Hermit, you might be spending a lot of time just by yourself or alone, or not necessarily talking to other people about this, especially with the High Priestess, because the High Priestess knows things more on an intuitive level and doesn't necessarily vocalize what she feels a whole lot of the times. And that's why I'm getting that you have this Eight of Swords and this Five of Wands, is because you feel sort of trapped, possibly in something that you've created for yourself. And what I mean by that is that some of you have possibly created the situation in your head where you're like, oh, I might not be good enough for this person because they're not coming forward, even though I know that they're feeling the same way that I feel, when they're actually thinking that they're thinking the same thing. You feel the way that they feel for you, but they can't come forward because there's some situation here, something that's stopping them. So definitely, if you find yourself in this situation where somebody is trying to come forward to you, or you want somebody to come forward to you and they're just not doing it, don't think or assume that it's because of you. I think that, especially this week, I'm getting the impression that some of you might be canceled or stood up at the last minute, something like that. It's not a reflection of you. It could be that they had something come up, or that there was something that they forgot about or whatever. But just know that I'm getting it this week that you're their top priority, but like they're thinking about you. You're on their mind constantly. It's just that they can't go to you. But I think the biggest advice I could give you this week is maybe try talking to them. That might not necessarily work because I feel like there's a lot of this intuition or intuitive communication going on. Just follow your instincts is definitely the biggest piece of advice that I'm going to give you guys this week is follow your instincts. Follow what you feel you know intuitively. And don't sell yourself short or under celebrate your victories, that kind of stuff. But yeah, Cancer, that was your reading for this week. It was a great reading, and I wish you guys the best of luck. And if you enjoyed, please consider leaving a like or a comment because it really helps out the channel. And I'd love to know if the reading resonated with you guys. And if you'd like to stick around, definitely consider subscribing. I upload every Monday. So I hope to see you guys next Monday for your next weekly reading.